And the day of placement day, I had to sign a numerous amount of papers relinquishing my parental rights. And even though I did not want to, because I loved her so much, I signed my name. And when we got to the last line, I thought to myself, this is it. If I sign my name on this line, it's done. And I can't take it back. And my wonderful social worker, Sarah, did the same thing. She petted me, and she said, take your time. So I sat there probably a good 5 minutes, and I signed. And then they got on the phone, and they called her parents, and they said, guess what? We have a baby girl here for you. Come and get her. And so they had 30 minutes to get to the agency, and they did. And when they came in, I fell in love with them too. They were wonderful to me and gave me a gold locket that I still have and cherish. I got to tell them all about the things that we did as we were pregnant. I was pregnant with her. I wrote her letters and made her blankets and did all kinds of things. And then we left. And my life, I thought, was going to fall apart, but God is so good, and He just showed me, Lisa, I love you, and I'm going to use this if you'll just let me. And so He did. And when my daughter was 5 months old, I ran into them, her mother and her, in a Christian bookstore, nowhere near where I lived, and really nowhere near where she lived. It was a divine appointment. I recognized my baby girl first. And I turned to leave because I thought her mother was probably having a panic attack. I figured for an adoptive parent, that would probably be the most frightening thing to run into the birth mother. So I went to check out as fast as I possibly could, and she was waiting for me by the door. And she said, Lisa? I said, yes. She goes, it's so good to see you. And she had Hillary, and she was so proud and wanted to show what she could do. She could stand up, and she could roll, and she could do all this. And then she asked me, she said, Lisa, we want you to be a part of our life. Will you be a part of our life? And it was just, yes, absolutely. And I was given the greatest gift. I got to watch her grow up. And I got to be there when she celebrated her first Christmas, and when she had her first birthday. I got to be there. I didn't miss those things. God is so good. And as my life changed and I got married and my husband surrendered to the ministry and we moved to Fort Worth, I was the mother of 2 toddlers, and I needed something to do. I needed something to get out in Pregnancy Lifeline. I'm a wedgie, Pastor Al, all right. Someone shared about Pregnancy Lifeline, and I thought I need to volunteer there, and so I did. And that is when I met Jimmy, and we got that sonogram ministry going. And I'll just backtrack for just a second. While I was in labor, I had 2 of the most amazing labor delivery nurses, and that was when I decided what I wanted to do with my life. I wanted to be a labor delivery nurse. And so I finished college and became a registered nurse and did labor delivery and loved it. And I'm so thankful for that degree because it allowed me to do sonograms. And I do remember that first sonogram and that girl's reaction. Because just like me, she had been convinced that it isn't a life. It is a mass of tissue. That's all it is. That's what the world tries to tell us. But it's not. It's a life that's valuable and precious. It's a masterpiece that God put together Himself. And I remember her reaction, and I'll never forget it. And I am so fortunate to have been a part of Pregnancy Lifeline for almost 2 years doing sonograms. And it changed me forever, and boy, I miss it very, very much. Although I do love being a pastor's wife, and I'm now doing home health. And I'm now the parent of 3 teenagers. So God is so amazing because He has never failed us, because my parents have been able to share this story with hundreds of moms and dads who are getting the same news. And I've been able to share with the girls who are thinking about abortion. I was able to say, I know exactly how you feel. I know you're scared. But let me tell you about my story. Let me tell you about my little girl. And one of the greatest things that Marie, her mother, gave me was a picture, and she's wearing a t-shirt when she was 3 months old, and it says, "Thanks, Mom, for life." And I had that picture up in that sonogram room, and I always showed them, this is my baby girl. And it wasn't a massive tissue, it was my precious baby girl. And I am so incredibly honored that she is here tonight. She is the greatest thing, other than Jesus Christ saving me. The greatest thing that ever happened in my life. What God meant, what Satan meant for evil and ruin and death, God meant for life, and abundant life. And I'm so thankful. And so I want to introduce to you one of my most cherished treasures, my daughter. One thing that I'm going to just share with you about her, baby. I'm sorry. I'm going to give her a minute. She was blessed with a beautiful voice, and she uses that voice to bring honor and glory to the Lord, and that makes me so proud, because I think music was always so important to me. And because I always played her music and I sang to her all the time, I'm so thankful that God chose to give her a voice. And of course, the day that she made a profession of faith, my dad was the one who got to baptize her. And so it was so wonderful to see her grow up. She's now a sophomore in college, which is actually incredibly hard to believe. But she has been blessed with a beautiful voice, and it is so wonderful. It's been so great. I've had her 2 days. She's been with us 2 days. She lives in California, just north of Los Angeles. And I've had her for 2 days, and it's been so wonderful to sit in the car and listen to her sing. And the first time she started singing, I started crying, and she's like, "What's wrong?" I'm sorry. I'm going to do this a lot. Let me just warn you. So I am so very proud of her, because this is my masterpiece, and I am so glad that you're going to be blessed by hearing her sing my favorite hymn, something I think that sums up my whole story, how great thou art. So I want to introduce my daughter, Hillary Stoll.